So in 1978, the world came together to think of a solution to the increasing hole in the ozone. This solution was called the Montreal Protocol. Now, what exactly is the Montreal Protocol? Well, it's an international treaty that calls for the elimination of chemicals that are suspected to cause ozone depletion. Chemicals such as hydrofluorocarbon, which is just a fancy way of saying chlorine. Now, of course, every member of the United Nations signed this treaty, including the United States. And according to the book Polluters, The Making of Our Chemically Altered Environment, the United States is one of the nations with the biggest eco-footprint, which means we are one of the nations that uses the most natural resources and one of the nations who creates the most pollution in the world. Now, all this pollution going up into our atmosphere has bigger effects than most people realize. Things such as rising temperatures affect each and every one of us. Now, I myself have been taught about ozone depletion since I was in high school, and it has always been a topic that has interested me. And I hope that one day I am able to make an impact on society to make people to think greener. By knowing where pollution comes from and the harmful effects it has on us, we can get a better understanding of what ozone depletion really is. By first explaining what the ozone layer is and the two different types of ozone layers that we have, and second, by explaining where pollution comes from and the harmful effects it has on every one of us, and third, by explaining the harmful effects that it has on each one of us, short-term and long-term. I hope you guys gain a better understanding of what ozone depletion really is. So first, let me talk about what the ozone layer really is. So according to the academic journal written by A. Beckeridge in 2013, there are two types of ozone. One is man-made by all the pollution that we cause from the cars and the big industrial factories that we have around the world. And the second is made by Earth itself, which consists of natural gases such as nitrogen and oxygen. Now, the main function for this ozone layer is to reflect UV rays away from Earth, because UV rays are waves transmitted by the sun, which in large quantities can cause a lot of harm for us, things such as sunburn and ultimately skin cancer. So by knowing where pollution comes from, you guys can understand the harm it has towards us. So now let's go into more detail about the second ozone, which consists of all the pollution that we have created. So now we are going to discuss the pollution, where it all comes from, and the different harmful effects that it has on us. So according to an article submitted to the trade journals in 2011 by an anonymous writer named Ozone Depletion Once Again, the ozone depletion has increased by 40% since the early 2000s. And of course, this is because pollution has been eating away slowly at our good ozone. Now, a lot of things cause pollution. You can see it every day, and we are responsible for that. And you can see it from, if you drive or have ever been part of a bonfire or simply thrown a piece of trash on the street, you have caused some sort of pollution. But the majority of the pollution comes from big industrial factories. We have made a lot of environmental sacrifices in the name of $1. And you can see the harmful effects it is having on us now. Now, all this pollution going up into our atmosphere has created a big hole. And ultimately, this can cause a lot of harmful effects to the environment itself. By allowing more UV rays to enter Earth, you heat up Earth itself. And because the pollution is too thick for the UV rays to escape, this ultimately heats up the planet even more. And ultimately, allowing all these UV rays to enter and having the Earth heat up itself can cause major wind patterns to change and the temperature of our oceans to rise. And this is just the transition from 1979 all the way to 2000 from our ozone hole. The purple right here is how much bigger the hole has gotten. And as you can see right there, if the emissions continue the way they are, all the pollution in our air and all the UV rays that get trapped within our planet, this is how the temperature is going to rise in the Arctic Circle. And like I said, it melts the ice caps. So now that I've discussed what the ozone layer really is and its function for us, and of course what the pollution does to our environment, let us talk about the harmful effects that it has on each and every one of us. Okay. So ultimately, the effects that it can have on us are, according to an article written in the New York Times in 2013, in February of last year by M.J. Foster. The name of the article is The Enduring Effects of the Ozone Depletion. So according to this article, we have enough pollution in our atmosphere as of now to last us hundreds of years, even if we stop all the emissions that we have. And ultimately, this means that the ozone hole is irreversible unless scientists come up with some amazing, fantastic way to solve this. So now that we have discussed what the ozone layer really is, what pollution does to us, and the harmful effects it has on each and every one of us, long-term and short-term, let us review this information. So I have discussed what the two different types of ozone layer really are. One, man-made, from all the pollution that we have, and the second is the natural one, which consists of the natural gases such as nitrogen and oxygen. And second, I discussed the pollution that we cause from all the industrial factories, the cars, and even the little bonfires that you guys have at the beach. And I also discussed all the harm that this has on our environment. I also discussed the harmful effects that it has on each and every one of us, with rising temperatures and things such as higher risk of skin cancer. So I hope that you guys have a better knowledge of our Earth's ozone hole crisis.